I'm never sure whether the opening lines actually get recorded. So, welcome back, my friends, to another reading. I just did a quick thought for the day by Boris Pasternak, the author of Dr. Zhivago, and I noticed the first bit got cut off, so we didn't say who it was. So, if you watched that as well, it was actually Dr. Zhivago. And here I am early. Why am I really early? Because I'm about to go to a celebration. One of my grandsons is getting married, and I have the honor of being the officiant at the wedding. It's at a place called Margaritaville, which on a Friday evening is sometimes an arduous journey from here. But that aside, our reading for today, Reverend Jesse has called Life Pervades Every Cell. And the quote he has chosen is from Ben Winter, who was a New Thought luminary in the 20th century, who says, "Attentively dwell on and observe Spirit's image, for it to become your guide. Attentively dwell on and observe Spirit's image, for it to become your guide." So what does that mean? Well, this is what Ernest Holmes has got to say in something called Practical Application of the Science of Mind. Practical Application of the Science of Mind, and it's from 1958. And for the ones of you who've got the publication, it's on page 67. And Ernest Holmes says, "Frequently, when overtaken by sickness, we fall into a panic of fear. We must learn to place our faith in good, transposing the thought of fear into one of faith. It will help us realize that the body is a spiritual substance, that it is really some part of the body of God. God pervades it from tip to toe." Then he says, in giving a spiritual mind treatment for physical healing, we should sense a perfect spiritual pattern of the body. We should try intellectually and emotionally to sense it, just as one senses the atmosphere of harmony. We should know that the spiritual pattern of the body is a reality. Otherwise, there would be no body. We should know that life pervades every cell of the body. We should also know that our recognition and realization of the divine presence flowing in and through the pattern is what actually heals. It has the power to dissolve the wrong thought and its negative manifestation, and to re-establish the pattern of perfection to which we are now giving our full attention. And as I said, that was from Practical Application of the Science of Mind. Reverend Jesse says, placing our faith in good and transposing the thought of fear is made easier and more effective when we don't blame ourselves for being afraid or for anything else to do with the situation. The last thing a sick person needs is bogus metaphysical shame, especially when expressed by a well-meaning other party. We can have a dialogue with the body's constituent parts and learn something about where we carry our stress and our pain. He says, all healing is emotional healing. So two things here. Neither Ernest Holmes nor Reverend Jesse Jennings would tell somebody that you don't have a physical illness. But what they would say to them is that you have the option of seeing other than physical illness. You have the option of seeing health. And what Reverend Jesse is referring to when he says, the last thing a sick person needs is bogus metaphysical shame. At times in New Thought, well, times past and now, somebody gets sick and somebody else, well-meaning often, would say to them, well, how did you bring that upon yourself? And it could be, in this case, illness, but it could also be anything. And what he's saying is we never, ever, ever, ever say to anybody, how did you bring that upon yourself? Even if it is the negative thoughts of somebody that's actually helped to induce that, you would never ever say that, because it's called malpractice. We just don't do that. But what they're saying is, with anything, whether it's illness or it's lack of money or whatever it is, poverty, you look the situation directly in the eye and then you turn away from it and you see exactly what it is that you want to transpire, that you see the body as whole and healthy, and you put your emotion into it, so you feel how it feels to have yourself as whole. So whatever is wrong, and in this sense we're talking about physical illness, you see the body or that part of the body as being whole and perfect and well. And you hold that thought with emotion, and that is what brings about the healing, because that is causing a change in the universal subjective, which actually transpires to be a healing of the body. So there we are. Ernest Thomas clearly said in what we believe in the healing of the sick. He said we believe in changing conditions to the good. So we actually do believe this. And that is what spiritual mind treatment is. It is seeing the good, whatever kind of good that is. And as I said, in this case, physical health. That's where you see. You turn away from the sickness, physical health, and you see. And Reverend Jesse also said you can talk to the body, the different parts of the body, and you can ask it questions. And one technique he used for that, he would say, imagine that your body or that part of the body is sitting in a chair opposite you, and that you talk to it and ask it questions, and you will get answers. They're coming from your subconscious mind, but you will get answers, and you can use those answers for the good. He says, yesterday is not, and tomorrow is not, but today, bright with hope and filled with promise, is mine. Today, bright with hope and filled with promise, is mine. And today is bright with hope and filled with promise, and I will be going to help my grandson celebrate his wedding in the not too distant future. So if you are watching this, I am asking for your prayers, and I am offering my prayers, and I'm knowing the highest and best for Joshua and his partner, for good, a long life, a life together in happiness and fulfillment. And I release this word of gratitude into a divine law that always says yes, and so it is. And my friends, I was just joined by a cat, as you see the tail, who obviously agrees with me. So until next time, Reverend Lisa tomorrow morning, 9:15. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully at 5. Until then, namaste.